I think the studio for me has always been a fearful place. It's not a place I wanted to be. The idea that the studio is where artists go to work, and I've got a problem with work. So I have to pretend what I'm doing is play. If you're an artist, you make work in all kinds of ways. And I didn't like the confines of a studio. Obviously for this show, I'm almost playing at being an artist. You know, it's a painting show. It's called History Painting. It's a kind of pastiche, somehow, of what an artist should be doing. Oh, you're a painter. There's always a relief on people's face when you say you're a painter. I'm quite excited about this show because I decided quite early on I was going to do a painting exhibition, which is something I've never done in my life before. The idea of using a charged material to make a pigment. I like this idea that the mark and the gesture and the pigment carries a story with it. So I've had this history over the years of making different pigments out of different materials like snake venom and anti-venom. You know, church that's been struck by lightning, the chalk from the White Cliffs of Dover. So the pigments are representational, but what I do with them is quite abstract. The yellow ochre that I made out of a coprolite, which is a dinosaur poo. There's a pale, sort of gritty-looking colour there, which is made out of dinosaur teeth. So I've used almost every part of the dinosaur. But nobody's ever seen one. We know they existed. We don't know why they died. They're a big mystery, you know. Somehow that whatever happened to them could possibly happen to us. I came across Emily Noyes Vanderpoel when I was researching colour theory for a show in Berlin. This American artist who published a book in 1902 called Colour Problems, and it just kind of blew my mind. She made all these abstractions, these grid-shaped, 10 by 10 squares of colour, and she would look at a still life, break the still life down into percentages of colour, and then she'd make an abstraction based on those percentages. I came across this algorithm set up by these two women based on her grids, and it said you can feed any image you like in, and it will turn it into a grid and give you all the percentages of the colours in it. So I did that with some newspaper with gotcha on the front, or a newspaper with Titanic sunk on the front, or a Time Life magazine, with Man Walks on the Moon, or Earthrise, that image of Earth from space. So there's all these iconic photographs and magazine covers, and I would feed in images into this algorithm. And then you could do it over and over again. So I made about 15 or 20 each, and I just chose one that I really liked, and that was made into a painting, oil on canvas. So it's taking something that's digital and making it analog. And then the idea of the palette for the painting became something I became very interested in too. I've got a book about famous people's palettes. So there's just amazing things. It's usually the palette that's left in their studio when they die, so it's the last thing they've done. The paint's still wet. So every painting had a palette, and I put all the palettes together in the shows on the wall as one work called Colour Problems. It's all the workings out, really. I love palettes because they're unconscious, and then what you got on the canvas is very conscious. So downstairs in the exhibition, there's a room which is got the gunpowder plots of charcoal, sulphur and saltpeter, yellow, black and translucent white. I've always wanted to make more things with gunpowder because I think the colours are beautiful, and the idea of making them into a colour chart was part of the project I've just done. So I'm thinking about war, and then the dinosaurs, their extinction is, a mystery. But it could happen to us quite soon. So it's quite ominous. The poor old dinosaurs didn't know they were going to get wiped out. But if they did think they were going to be wiped out, could they have done anything about it? Probably not. But we can, and we're not.